Hello and welcome, Flesh and Blood fans. This is Kalibovich coming to you with another episode of VeteRandom Thoughts. Today I wanted to touch on some of the feelings I had towards Flesh and Blood's heroes when I started playing this game. The first deck I got for Flesh and Blood was a Blitz Dorinthia one, and thank you once again for that, Yannick. I've played it a bit and liked it a decent amount. Then I bought some boxes and put together something a bit more competitive, Dash. Please don't laugh. This was before the release of Tales of Aria, so yeah, I just played her a bit in Classic Constructed, I played her a bit in Blitz. After a month or two of playing, I started looking wider at all the decks I was seeing around me, and don't laugh, it was not only Chain, but almost only Chain. And I came to a strange conclusion. They're all practically the same, and I do not mean everyone was playing Chain. They want to do the exact same things. You attack with your cards or you attack with your weapons, your opponent blocks, you want the mat to go in your favor, that's it. So, at that moment, I concluded that Heroes in Flesh and Blood are just like Star Wars and Star Trek. There is absolutely no difference. Then I got past that initial impression and thought to myself, or is there a difference? So yes, we do have decks that go wide, we do have decks that go tall, but then there's also Prism. She's usually running up to 3 different plans, sometimes in the same matchup, be it huge illusionist attacks that you can counter with huge attacks of your own, or Spectra Auras that have very good static abilities that Kodachi you in the face every turn. And don't forget Spectral Shields that can heal or kill. And then there's Kano. If you want to ever pick up a Kano deck, you have to forget everything you already know about Flesh and Blood, throw it out of the window. Action points? You don't need them. Physical defense? It's useless against you. Holding priority while playing cards to combo your ability with Ragamuffin's Hat or Snapback with Chain Lightning. Judge! What? You're attacking me for lethal? No, comrade, it is our turn. Then there's also OTK Viscerai. You know, the pre-Living Legend in Blitz or pre-Skeleton Suspension in Classic Constructed, where you don't attack, you just filter your hand by blocking or pitching for resources. You make 24 rune chants and then explode them in your opponent's face while also drawing a bazillion cards. Then there's also OTK Sir Bolton. Just charge, but not your opponent. You just charge your soul, put some cards in there, jab the opponent's life total a couple of times, and then when you assemble your 2 or 3 card combo, you do a 30 plus attack damage in a turn just by using your 2 weapons. Then there's also Fatigue Oldham, the grandfather of time in the round. Playing each card for value, watching your opponent's deck dwindle. Those games took so long. I remember once I sat down for a mirror match, and my opponent said it was his first time playing Oldham. To that, I responded, okay, that is going to be a draw. Because the game goes for so long, you need to play each of your turns as fast as possible for fear of the round clock running out, and you usually have to speed up your opponents a bit, or at least try to. Then there's little Benji trying to snap you in the face with 2 million small unblockable attacks into a combo piece, drawing him back a million more cards, rinse, repeat. Then there's Ice Lexi, shooting at you, taxing your resources all the time, every turn, just putting the pressure on you, making you unable to play your cards. And then there's... okay, I believe you get my point by now. Besides, if heroes themselves didn't matter, you would just pre-board for general strategies, like go wide or go tall, and not for specific heroes. But how about putting some lead the charges for those pesky Prism illusionists? How about going more than one arcane barrier because Patrick is back to playing Kano locally? All classes and all heroes are very distinct and different in the game of Flesh and Blood. And that is one of the things that I love about this game, what makes this game so deep to explore. You both play differently as a specific hero, as well as versus a specific hero. And it goes way beyond just pre-boarding and the age-old decision of who goes first. As an example, about a week ago I had a crazy thought of, hey, I have not played Levia, ever. It should theoretically be good in my local meta. I don't have a deck list for it because no one is playing it locally, barring maybe a couple people from time to time. Okay, I'll try to make a deck and go with it. And you know what? There were some advantages and disadvantages to my plan. The obvious disadvantage was that it was a barely tested homebrew with just several reps in. On the other hand, people locally have not played against Levia and CC either in ages or even ever. The second factor was mostly seen with me being able to full block with my hand on turn 0 just to fill my graveyard most of the time. Because, you know, Levia needs some fuel, some cards in the graveyard because some of her attacks have a discount in their cost, but have an additional cost of banishing cards from your graveyard. So that was really beneficial for me. And you know what? 4 wins later, I was holding this shiny cold foil romping club. Oh yeah! It is also worth mentioning that the more you specialize with a hero, and the better you get with it and against it, the more lines of play you can see and optimize, your win ratio will also improve, and hopefully you will enjoy exploring the game further. Okay guys, that's it. I believe I've hammered my point through, that Flesh and Blood is a deep and rich game, one very much worth playing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And for all of you, see you at the tables.